views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola everyone, and welcome to Open BxRx Remote, brought to you from my living workspace, Charlie Executive Suite. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche, every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we'll discuss GrowNYC and the American Heart Association partnership to relaunch the Norwood Farmstand as we discuss the increasing food insecurities amid the pandemic. After that, we'll find out about the Bronx Arts Ensemble Holiday Benefit Concert featuring two former winners of the William Scribner Young Artist Competition. Then, we'll learn how to make some festive Christmas decorations when we speak to DIY and lifestyle expert A.B. Perkins. Later on in the show, Bobby C. brings us an up-to-date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, this week's Open Artist Spotlight features New Yorican Poets Cafe alum Nancy Mercado, who will perform and pay tribute to a New Yorican Poets Cafe founder, Miguel Algarin, at the end of the show. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way, because now we are officially open. Welcome back to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour, encouraging you to get social with us online as we continue during these social distancing times. Let's connect, tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, you can follow me on Twitter, FB, Instagram, and Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So, food insecurities continue to be an issue in many areas of New York City, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. And as we deal with the second wave, many families are still in need of healthy and nutritional food. Well, Bronx Philanthropist Rose Caiola, the American Heart Association, and GrowNYC have partnered up to make these nutritional foods, accessible and affordable for people throughout the community. And joining us to tell us more about the Norwood Farmstand, please welcome American Heart Association Board of Directors and founder of Rewire Me, Rose Caiola, and GrowNYC Director of Food and Access and Agriculture, Michael Hurwitz. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for being here with us, and thank you for the wonderful work that you're doing for our community. It really is inspiring and very hopeful. Rose, it's quite an honor to meet you and learn about you and your story and the beauty of you making it your business to provide for our community. So let's just talk about why this means so much to you and why you're so invested in this.
Well, being part of that community, when I first learned about how all the other boroughs have the farmers markets all year round, and someone mentioned, well, the Bronx doesn't. Their farmers markets close. I was like, wait a minute. Like, what do you mean the Bronx doesn't have farmers markets all year round? So the American Heart Association of New York City asked me to partner with GrowNYC and see if we can fund the farmers markets to stay open all year round in my Bronx community. So I was like, I'm all in, I'm all for it. Let's see what we need to do to get it done. So
and you guys made it happen, right? Because it just reopened again on December 3rd, and now it's going to be open all year round, right?
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And well, many Bronx residents, they have access to the local healthy foods throughout the warmer months, but when it comes to the colder months, they don't. So now they do. So we're thrilled that we can be able to bring this to them.
So Michael Hurwitz, and your title is Director of Food, Access, and Agriculture. What exactly does that encompass?
So GrowNYC works with about 350 regional farmers in a variety of ways, right? We've operated our retail farmers markets for 44 years now. 12 years ago, we started our youth-run farm stands and our cooperative buying platforms called Fresh Food Boxes, and we started a wholesale arm. And we have the goal of our work. It's a two-part mission. The first is let's keep our small farms in our region vibrant and in business and productive. New York State is in the top 10 agricultural states in a number of products. But also, and most importantly, and this is the work that Rose is making possible, is that all New Yorkers should have equitable access to those products. So we evaluate a location and we decide which model is going to fit best to accomplish that two-part mission. And we're thrilled, working with Rose. We last year funded the Norwood Youth Farmstand to go year-round, the Lincoln Hospital Farmers Market to go year-round. COVID certainly threw a wrench into some of our plans, but we're back at it this year with Norwood going year-round, and also our food box at Project Hope Rose is supporting as well. And fundamentally, food access begins with food availability. And Rose's commitment to the Bronx makes this food available now year-round. And then we have a number of other programs that support access and affordability. There are 2 locations that are thriving right now in the Bronx because of Rose's and American Heart Association support.
Woo! Yes, that's right. You gotta woo-woo! Go Rose! It's wonderful. And really just your mission independently, like personally, is really something for us to share with our viewers. Coming from a corporate background, shifting into mindfulness, using that platform, and then of course contributing to this aspect of wellness, right? Because they all go hand in hand, mind, body, spirit. And the fact that we are dealing with the pandemic, and now more than ever is when people need to be eating healthy so that they can arm their bodies. It should be accessible to them. So I get it. And it's just lovely to be sharing this level of hope during the holidays where where everything's uncertain.
Yes, but we're always in a position to give in one way or another. I believe that we're constantly evolving as human beings, and to be able to go from, what our goals are when we're growing up to achieving those goals if we can, and then, how can we set ourselves up to pay it forward, to other communities, and then, to give back, right? It's all really forms of gratitude, especially now during this month. They are all, it's a time of giving. And so the fact that we were able to launch the market again right before the holidays has been so instrumental in helping us stay focused on our mission. The American Heart Association New York City remains deeply committed to helping New Yorkers live longer, healthier lives. Affordable, healthy food is the cornerstone of their mission, and they believe that everyone should have access to food, right? That helps support a balanced, healthy diet, right? It's good for your brain, it's good for your body, it's good for your soul. And so we believe that keeping this Norwood market open year-round, every Thursday, will make a huge change in affecting people and helping them to maintain those healthier lives.
Absolutely, especially when it's accessible. It opens up a different level of consciousness. And Michael, this brings me to this Health Bucks program that you have that I think is so cool, right? So people can actually go and purchase with their SNAP benefits and then earn Health Bucks. Like, just talk us through exactly what that process is.
Sure. So, and this is made possible through New York City's Department of Health, another great partner here. For every $5 someone spends using SNAP, they receive a $2 health buck, which gives them a 40% boost in buying power. It's for fresh fruits and vegetables. It stretches your food dollars. And it's same part of that 2-part mission, right? It puts extra money into farmers' pockets and at the same time increases our access to healthy foods. I'll tell you about our sites, and while they are fundamentally about food access, also a safe space outside that provides a social space as well. You're going to go, you're going to see your neighbors. You're going to distance, you're going to be able to have conversations. You're going to be able to talk to our staff, share recipes, share ideas. It's the same type of community and social vibrancy that our sites are about. So while fundamentally they're about food and wellness begins with what we put in our body, there's also that greater, and the mindfulness, right? And the mental health aspect of being able to be outside safely during this time.
Right. And, that was going to be my next question. It's like, I think one of the intimidating factors for people to shift their mindset into just that healthy living rather than resorting to that lifestyle after being diagnosed with something, coming from a preventative perspective. Are there ingredients and or cooking demos or anything like that offered as well?
Yeah. Can I? Yes. So we started actually doing that before the pandemic and are definitely looking forward to having some food demonstrations. There's always recipes. We'll have some cookbooks out. I'll eventually be there on site with my aunt and we'll do a little maybe Italian cooking demo with some great vegetables, when we can, probably right after the new year.
Right. No, it's cool. I love that you said we're going to do the Italian stuff because the idea is that,
Yeah.
you know what, you don't have to, right. You could still hold on to your culture. You just, implement some healthy vegetables inside that dish so that it still has the same flavor.
Exactly. And there are some vegetables and fruits that, that aren't familiar to everyone. There's, a plethora of variety grown in our farms upstate. So why not, bring them down and just show people how to use them? It's simple.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Well, I know, I love it. I love it. And I just want to thank you both for your service to our community and your commitment to our community. And thank you for being here with us today and sharing it with our viewers. Do you have any last words, Michael?
Sure. And we've been in the Bronx since 1980. I'm in Queens now, but we love it. We love the Bronx, and really just deeply appreciative to Rose that we're able to operate these two sites. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Wednesdays and Thursdays at Project Hope and Norwood Farmstand. But thank you so much for having
Come
us.
support us.
Yes, oh gosh, Rose, you're supporting all of us. So yes, in retrospect, support them. And you know what? Thanks for staying Bronx strong, Rose.
Woo! Thank you.
All right, you guys, once again, the Norwood Market, it's going to operate every Thursday weekly from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And to learn more about the 80 markets across the city, you can visit GrowNYC.org. We have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to hear about a virtual holiday concert. Don't go anywhere. Hey everyone, welcome back. The Bronx Arts Ensemble is known for bringing music to the Bronx community while showcasing different cultures through live performances. And this upcoming season, the organization will be holding its holiday benefit concerts featuring the talent of two former William Scribner Young Artist Competition winners. And of course, it's going virtual. So joining us to tell us more, we welcome Bronx Arts Ensemble Artistic Director, Judith Insell. Hi, Judith.
Hi, Rhina. So good to be with you again.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I'm always, it puts me in a really cheerful mood to know that despite the circumstances, we can still have our annual partners that we're showcasing in a form of just still moving forward and forging forward with what would have been a live concert. Obviously, you've had to adapt like everybody else and pivot into a virtual style form execution. However, the importance is that we have chosen, all of us, to just keep moving forward in whatever way possible. And the fact that we're able to be a part of that and contribute through documenting this aspect of it and sharing it with our viewers it really means a lot to even me. So it's really refreshing to see your face. All of that to say it's really refreshing to see your face.
Well, it's great to see your face too. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to let people know about the concert. Just like you said, we've had to pivot and be flexible and put our performances online. We had a performance in October, and we really felt that it was important to keep going with our online performances, so that we decided that during the holiday season, which we usually have a holiday performance in person live in venues in the Bronx, that we take that and put it online so we can reach our Bronx communities anyway. Very much hoping that our concert will help to keep the spirit of the holidays going for people well after they view the performance. And so with that said, we were very conscious in asking these two special young Latina Bronx women to come and give us their talents online.
Yeah, so yeah, we're definitely gonna just go a little bit through some of the programming, right? Because based on what I read, you have violinists, you have a pianist, but what I'm curious to know is it everybody's just coming together to perform together, or are there going to be solos? And also, more importantly, I think I want our viewers to know and walk away with the fact that this is accessible to them, and it's authentic sounds that represent our borough in a classical manner, and it's something that I think everybody should indulge in when you go live on Facebook, December 17th.
It's definitely something that's been designed to lift up the spirits of the community of the Bronx. As I said before, these are two young Latinas from the Bronx. Linda is an up and coming rising mezzo soprano opera singer, and she will be supported with a collaborative piano accompaniment by Pablo Zinger, and they're going to be presenting holiday classics, songs that basically everybody knows, as far as helping people to feel that holiday spirit. One thing that we've been really conscious about is trying to make it even more accessible to people, with adding the text underneath the songs so people can sing along, or if you have hearing issues, you make it even more accessible to you to participate in the concert itself. So we want to encourage people to, like, yeah, you see the words to Winter Wonderland, sing along with Linda and Pablo.
That's lovely. Yes, no, I think it's wonderful you made it interactive. Yes, it definitely makes it more engaging. My daughter and I love sing-along, so that's lovely that you noted that. Yeah.
Yes, we decided that was a very important feature that we needed to add. Obviously, when we're in person, we do give out people programs and they can see the lyrics, but we wanted to make sure that they could still do that when they're at home. And then our other featured artist is Allison, who is our 2019 competition winner on violin. So she's a recent graduate of Celia Cruz High School, which is in the Bronx. It's our Bronx own performing arts school that we love to feature the students from that school. And she's going to be supported by also a former graduate from the same year from Celia Cruz High School on violin. So they're playing a series of violin duos of some holiday favorites from the classical music world, Jesu Joy of Man Desiring, and we also have them playing O Hanukkah for all of our Jewish friends who are celebrating Hanukkah. And so we have them in two separate groups. You know, Rena, it's difficult to have everybody play all together right now
Right, right,
in
right,
the
right, right.
situation. So we were lucky enough that they were able to kind of record themselves in pairs.
Oh, nice. So you've got Linda Collazo and then you got Allison Arias, who we're talking about, right? Those are the two
Right. So
Latinas.
Linda, yes,
Linda's going to be accompanied by Pablo Singer, right?
yes.
And so who is Allison being accompanied by?
He's being accompanied by Alexander Estrella.
And that's on violin as well. And both of
Yes.
them are from Celia Cruz High School?
Yes, they both graduated at the end of, I believe, 2019. Alex is a freshman at NYU. So,
Nice.
and Allison decided to take some time off this year to reflect and has so graciously talked to me about what her plans are. She wants to go in the field of math and science, but she still wants to play the violin.
Love it. Love a woman aiming for STEM. We love that. Love
Yeah.
that. Wonderful. Judith, oh my gosh, thank you so much for bringing this here to our viewers. And thank you for being this magnificent artistic directors to the next generation of our genius musicians who are just here cheering up our community and abroad, because it's going to be online and accessible to everyone. And I love the fact that you implemented the sing-along factor. That is so awesome.
Yes. So yes, we really are looking forward to launching it on the 17th. It's going to be up for probably at least 3 weeks, depending on how much people want it to stay up. If we get requests to keep it up even longer, we'll have it going as long as we need to keep that holiday spirit going. And I'm so glad you mentioned that it's global now. So we're trying to bring the talent of the Bronx to the entire world. So this is something that we're really trying to make an effort to. One of the reasons why we decided online is not such a bad thing after all.
There you go. There you go. Touching the lives of all around the world. All right, you guys, once again, the Bronx Arts Ensemble Holiday Benefit Concert will take place on Thursday, December 17th at 7 p.m. on Facebook live stream at Bronx Arts Ensemble. We do have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll learn how to make some DIY Christmas decorations. Don't go anywhere. Hey everyone, and welcome back. So Christmas is quickly approaching and many people are looking to decorate their house and Christmas tree, such as myself. And our next guest is a Bronx native and creator of the DIY blog, AV Does What? And that includes everything from upcycled crafts, tasty recipes, and pop culture. And she's currently a host on HGTV Handmade. And her goal actually is to help thrifty millennials realize that life is better when you do it yourself. Joining us to help make some Christmas decorations, please welcome AV Perkins. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
We are good. I am so looking forward to this segment. Okay. Yeah, because I just want to open up by saying, you know, does she look really helpless here? I mean, she's a little naked. I was banking on this segment to help me get some ideas.
Just a little naked, but you know, we're gonna add some razzle dazzle to that, and you'll be a-okay. All right?
Okay.
So the first thing I wanted to show you guys, right? Because since I do love upcycling, we have a lot of these rolls, right? Because of what the toilet paper apocalypse earlier this year.
Right.
So I'm going to show you how to make an ornament out of it using a paper roll, yarn, scissors, and tissue paper. This is completely optional, but it's nice to have. Let's go.
Okay, so what kind of tissue paper? Is that like the gift tissue paper?
Decorative tissue paper, but since I'm a crafter, I have all of this like on standby. You can use paper towel if you would like. It's up to you. So you're going to take your paper roll, pair of scissors. You're just going to cut a nice ring from it, right? So about an inch or so thick. It's fine. And then you're going to cut threads of yarn. Let me get this together right here, right? So this is about, I don't know, 8 inches or so. Now the length of it depends up to the thickness of how thick you cut this.
Right.
You can end up using more or less, but you want to cut a good amount of these, and they all need to be at least the same length. So you're going to fold it in half. So let me bring you guys back up to speed. Going to fold it in half so it's a nice little loop. Going to put the loop through this. Going to fold it over and pull it through the yarn loop. Okay? So it looks something like that. And you're going to do that a bunch of times until you completely go around the paper towel ring. So
it's good therapy. It looks therapeutic.
You can get your Netflix on, you can listen to a podcast, you can watch this episode while you're doing it.
Right.
So you fold, stick through the ring.
Uh-huh.
So you still have your loop here. Bring the two ends through the loop and pull. You don't want to pull it too tight because your paper ring is paper. You don't want it to bend the cardboard, but give it a nice little firm pull.
So the other question is I noticed you have different colors, right? So the idea is to...
It's not necessarily different colors. It's because my yarn is dyed in different colors. So this is like a yarn. But you can use a yarn like this. You can use a solid color yarn. It's up to you. So you see, this is all from the same ball. Fold, stick, loop through, and pull.
I think this is a wonderful idea to do with children. You know, this is an amazing arts and crafts because it's important for us to get our kids off the screen, right? And so this kind of interactive, decorative DIY stuff is really encouraged this holiday season.
It keeps them busy and it's not too labor intensive, you know? So it's just working their motor skills, but it's not something where they would feel overwhelmed and it would feel really accomplished once they finished. So I'm going to just do a couple more and then I'm going to show you guys the next step. So once you have this completely full all the way around, it's going to look something like this, right? Call this like a big jellyfish.
Okay,
right?
can you bring it closer so we can really look at it? Okay.
Yeah. So you see all the bottom knots that we were doing, just like so. This is cousin of this. So you have it like that, right? You want to do like a little twist at the bottom just so it's easier. You're going to push it through. You're going to push all of these through. And, you know, pull it through. So you're literally turning it inside out. So it looks something like this.
Nice.
So we're not done yet. So now that you have it like so, this is where the tissue paper comes in. This will make it a little bit, the form hold a little bit more. We're going to put it through there. And you're going to gather these strands at a point. Then take one of your yarn strands and tie a knot. So you're going to, and what I like to do when I'm tying a knot, I do like one loop like this and you pull it really tight. And then you flip it to the back of it. And then you tie it again. And that's how you get.
It's tied on both sides. So it's tied on both sides.
That's how you get your knots really together. Okay. Tie it one more time.
So that it lasts.
So it lasts and it won't get loose. Because sometimes you want to, people end up tying like how they tie their shoes and it'll get loose before you do that bow.
Got it.
Okay. So going to tie a little knot here at the top so we can hang it on our tree. Then once you loop that through in a knot, you're going to trim the top. So you're going to just give this guy a little haircut. Da, 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 da.
Or not, right? I mean, you have the option to keep it.
If you want your hat to be a little floppy, that is fine. The tissue paper that's inside, it gives it its form, and it looks a little something like this.
Oh, how cute. Oh.
Yarn hat ornament.
Super cute. Super cute.
If you don't want to make it into an ornament, You don't have to. You can just leave it kind of like, it'll look really cool like on your table as a centerpiece, or just, you know, maybe buy your place cards, because you're only supposed to have like 5 people there at your house this season.
Right.
But you can make those 5 spaces nice with that sort of stuff.
All right, awesome. That's so awesome. So just while we're gonna jump to the next item, like, is this the kind of stuff that you show on HGTV, handmade?
I do. I love crafting. I love all different types of crafts, but I like when crafting is accessible, because there's so many people who say, AV, you know, you do that. You are so creative. I can't do that. And it makes my ears and my skin crawl, because it's like, no, you are creative too. We were all born with creative energy. You know, people may feel like, oh, they can't do it because they've been raised or they grew up to believe that they lost those creative juices. But
right, like, yeah, I know. It's like they outgrow it or something. Meanwhile, it's a mindset. It's a mindset.
It is a mindset. And that's why I say life is better when you do it yourself, right? Because we are all doing our lives ourselves. And I can't do this craft for you. I mean, technically I could, but the memories that you'll do, whether you are successful at it or not, those are the memories no one can take away from you. And that's what you're doing yourself. And that's what I try to tell people on my platform.
That's wonderful. And truth be told, we have been forced into a position of really reconsidering whether it's best for us to do certain things ourselves.
Yes. And of course, when you are doing things yourself, it kind of builds like the trust within yourself. So it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think I can do it, but I tried it and it worked. So now I'm here continuing to do it. And, you know, like I said, no one can take that away from you. And
so we don't have, I'm sorry, I cut you off. What was the last thing you said?
I was gonna say, like, as you get to know yourself more, you know, hey, there's certain things, that's just not for me. But you know, it's like a muscle. Keep working your creative muscles.
Right, and you're never going to know unless you try. And, you know, if you're doing it yourself, nobody's watching. So why not?
Exactly. You can do it, you know, you could do it yourself and by yourself if you want to.
Exactly.
So much more fun.
So we're out of time, and I know you have one more item that you wanted to show us. Can you at least show us the dynamics of it? I mean, it's pretty simple and self-explanatory, but I think it's a wonderful idea, and I want to make sure we share it before we go.
So this one, super straightforward. This is a picture of me with my grandmother. I'm going to just trim this just a little bit. A piece of cardstock or cardboard. Adhere the image to the cardstock or cardboard, depending on how thrifty you're going with this. And pom-poms. You can get this at your local dollar store.
Mm-hmm.
Or art supply store, and literally just glue the pom-poms on the cardstock and the photo. So like a blend. So it's almost like a border.
Right. So it becomes a frame.
So it becomes a frame. Exactly. And then you can take one of these lovely strands of thread.
Right.
That you did earlier. I like to
with the other project, right?
Project, because waste not, want not.
Of course not, because you're the upcycler.
Exactly. So I like to put a knot at the end of it, just so it's more secure with the tape. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes when you're taping yarn, it can slip through the tape, and you don't want it.
Okay, right.
So you have this. Flip it on the back. Use some tape. Tape it on.
And again, this is another wonderful project that one can engage in with your children. Look, beautiful. I love it. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful ornament. That's another ornament.
Yes, and you can use your greeting cards that you might have received. You can upcycle those. So it's like, okay, you have it like there. Maybe the ones that you had from last season, you can make them into ornaments for this season. Just keeping the party going.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, thank you for bringing it here to us, AV.
So much for having
Coming back to your home borough.
Yes, of course.
Woo. AV Perkins, everyone, thank you for being here. Love the DIY projects. Yes. And you guys, for more on the DIY projects with AV Perkins. You can make sure to check out her website at avdoeswhat.com and make sure to follow her on Instagram at avdoeswhat. All right, don't go anywhere. Bobby C's weekly sports roundup is coming up next.
It seems that time to start taking the New York Football Giants seriously. This is not just a couple of wins now, and Sunday the G-Men authored arguably the biggest upset of the NFL season. At the midpoint of 2020, Big Blue had lost 7 of their 8 games, with 4 of those defeats by 4 or fewer points. Now, the Giants are pulling out those close matchups in December. The latest, a 17-12 road win over the Seattle Seahawks, the 4th consecutive victory for the first-place Giants. Here's more from Big Blue.
I thought our guys received the game plan well. I think that Pat, Jason, and T-Mac all did a good job throughout the week, so did all the position coaches. I thought our guys came prepared to play today mentally, physically, and emotionally, and that showed up in a 60-minute game. We knew it was going to go down the wire. It always does in a place like this. You got to fight to keep yourself in a position to have a close game here and close it out in the end. And exactly what we thought was going to happen happened throughout the week in practice and happened in the game today, going down the wire.
They are home to face the Arizona Cardinals this Sunday, 1 p.m. kickoff from MetLife Stadium. My 2 cents on the Judge and the Giants in the C-list. Stay tuned. The G-Men are cooking. The Jets are firing, as in firing their defensive coordinator. Gang Green has finally seen enough to make a coaching change. No, it's not Adam Gase just yet, but instead DC Greg Williams. Williams is now well known around the NFL world for his defensive decision in the waning seconds against the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 13. One day after his ill-advised, all-out blitz failed to take down the opposing quarterback on the game-deciding play, Williams is out. He was universally criticized for calling a risky cover-zero blitz while protecting a 4-point lead against the Raiders. The result was a 46-yard touchdown pass with 5 seconds left in the game that gave the Silver and Black a 31-28 win and dropped the Jets to 0-12. Can't say much more. Here's the latest from the Jets locker room.
There's not much you can say. I mean, we got to go back to work. I mean, these guys, they battled the whole game, and we just gotta finish it.
This weekend, the Jets are in Seattle. That game gets underway at 4:05 p.m. We move to college basketball. Rick Pitino won his first college hoops game in more than 3 years last Saturday when Iona defeated Hofstra 82-74. Pitino took over at Iona in March after not having coached in college since being fired from Louisville in October 2017 amid NCAA violations and allegations. We caught up with Pitino and Manhattan head coach Steve Masiello.
Just excited to see college basketball being played with everything going on in the world, and it's kind of nice to see some normalcy of teams playing not only across the country but also in the MAC. Unfortunately, we're one of those teams that hasn't yet played a game, but we're very excited on looking forward to opening up this weekend and hopefully starting getting on a good routine where we can stay on the court.
The way you navigate through the problems that we're having and then evolving into just trying to improve each player individually, because to me, there's 15 new players in a new system, and to them, there's a new coach in a new system. So you're just trying to get every individual. I've seen a lot of improvement in Isaiah Ross. I've seen improvement in a number of different players right now.
Outgoing President Donald Trump is scheduled to attend Saturday's Army-Navy game at West Point. It will be his final Army-Navy game as Commander-in-Chief, and it will mark the first time the storied rivalry will be held at Academy's Field since 1943. The game will be played at West Point. And if you want to see what a real American patriot looks like, do your homework on Chuck Yeager. The U.S. Air Force officer and test pilot known as the fastest man alive has died at the age of 97. Yeager broke the sound barrier when he tested the X-1 in October 1947, although the feat was not announced to the public until 1948. Rest in peace, Mr. Yeager. You are the right stuff. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. The New York Liberty will pick number 1 for the second consecutive year in the WNBA draft. This time, there isn't really a clear-cut choice of who they'll take to pair with last year's choice, Sabrina Ionescu. Still, nice look for the Liberty. They'll get another high-level player to add to their young core. The Washington football team is keeping pace with the G-Men in the NFC East. Records aside, the Giants and Washington are two of the hotter teams in the NFL. Washington knocks off no longer undefeated Pittsburgh, 23-17 final during the week. The Steelers blow a 14-point lead. Yikes. In the NBA, Brooklyn believes the 2 preseason games this Sunday, December 13th against the Washington Wizards and 5 days later against the Boston Celtics will play a big role in terms of setting an early rotation for the team. Expectations are high for the Nets. Here's more.
It was a great first day. First of all, guys played really hard, were attentive, and buying in and working hard and doing all the things as coaches we'd asked for. Great energy and spirit.
I feel like everybody's playing really well right now. Everybody put a lot of work in these past couple of months, this off season, however you want to call it. Everybody looks fresh. Everybody looks, ready to go. Kevin, Kyrie look, extremely refreshed and ready to go. So I think it'll be a really fun season for everybody.
In other non-related, possibly related news, Houston Rockets All-Star guard James Harden hasn't reported to training camp. The team says there is no timetable for Harden's arrival. Harden reportedly still wants out and for it to be to Brooklyn. The Rockets have already dealt Russell Westbrook for John Wall to D.C. this offseason. The NBA season is upon us. The NHL might be around the corner. The League and Players Association continue to negotiate. Expect a 52 or a 56-game season with the Stanley Cup Final coming in early July. We've also got some good news from the racing world. African-American business leader and former team manager Rod Reed announces the formation of Force Indy, a race team set to compete in the 2021 Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship. For 30 years, USF 2000 has been the formative step of the popular Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires ladder system, which culminates in scholarship opportunities in the NTT IndyCar Series. This program has grown into a proven pipeline for open-wheel racing's future stars. Here's more.
As an African-American male, I cannot understate the importance of today. Someone who did not grow up with the sport, but grew to fall in love with the sport over time and over being introduced to it by others, and have strived to spread that love to other African Americans and people of color. This is a pivotal moment, and all morning I've been thinking about the fact that this might be one of those, where was I when it all started? We are all committed to changing this sport, and it is an everyday laser focus on what we can do to move the needle.
Great to see the series embracing diversity. We hit the C-list for how the Giants have embraced a new culture under head coach Joe Judge. Big Blue has bought into Joe Judge's process, and they showed on Sunday why they could be dangerous in January. New York is now 5-7, doesn't sound or look great, but consider that they've won 4 straight, which after New Orleans is the best current streak in the NFC. They've lost 4 of those games by a grand total of 10 points. After 18 attempts, they are the first NFC East team this season to beat a team outside the division with a winning record. That's got to count for something. And what definitely counts for something is how they are doing it. They lost star running back Saquon Barkley to a torn ACL in week number 2, the second straight year that he has missed some time due to injury. They lost starting quarterback Daniel Jones last week to an injured hamstring. They won Sunday with backup Colt McCoy. The answer, the key to all of this, is the Giants' defense is swarming. The G-Men forced as many turnovers, 10, over their past 4 wins as in their previous 8 games, and they allowed just 16.5 points per game over that span. The Giants rank in the top 10 in points and yards allowed and 5th in turnovers forced. Public enemy number 1 for Giants fans throughout much of this process has been general manager Dave Gettleman. But Gettleman has worked well with Judge and has gotten him the caliber of player that Judge wants. You could criticize Gettleman's previous Giants players' acquisitions and perhaps even picking Barkley second overall in the draft, but being critical this year might be tough. Gettleman's drafts, particularly on defense, have been very good. Big Blue is back. And you know the saying, offense wins games, but defense wins championships. Giants might be a really tough outcome to playoffs if they get in. Wouldn't that be something else? That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Our last guest is a writer, editor, and activist. She is the recipient of the prestigious American Book Award for Lifetime Achievement. And over the years, she's been able to present her work throughout the U.S. and abroad for different institutions. She's a New Eurekan Poets Cafe alumni with a PhD from Birmingham SUNY and is an associate professor. And we're welcoming Nancy Mercado as we pay homage to the late, great Miguel Algarin, who we just recently lost. Thank you for being here with us today, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Well, it's really important for all of us to really take into heart how certain individuals really contributed to where we are now, right? And I say this like, I don't have the same relationship that you had with Miguel Algarin, but I do have a history from the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I don't know how many generations of New Eurekan Poets Cafe of people who have grown from the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, but it was so important for us to have you on because of how long you've had your relationship with him, and really so that we can shed light on him and you and just the impact it's had on our community. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah. Miguel was an extraordinary human being, to say the least. He was so accomplished and, brilliant person, actually, a controversial person also, but of course he was an artist. So that usually goes with the territory. He was just magnificent. One of the founders of the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, also chronicler of the New Eurekan literary movement. I usually or often consider him as the our version of Allen Ginsberg. That's in terms of the work that was done. That's how I see him a lot of times. And of course he's just a friend. So it's hard to listen, but
my condolences to you, really. And I mean that de corazón. I know we're going to be sharing some images with our viewers of just how long of a relationship you had. I mean, you were like a little girl in those photos, not that you're like that, todavía te ves riquita, pero I'm just saying.
No, it's I was a lot younger. I mean, I met Miguel around 1978 when I went into Rutgers University. He was a professor there. And fortunately, I met him early on, right when I got there, and then took a class with him in the Puerto Rican Studies Department. He was the second chairman of the Puerto Rican Studies Department. Dr. Maria Canino was the first one and one of the founders, or the founder of the department. So we were really fortunate, the students who, were able to have him. And he was a great teacher. I mean, a great professor. He brought all of the literary folks in, Pedro Pietri, Sandra Maria Esteves, Miguel Piñero. So we got to meet all of them one-on-one in our class. And that's how it began. That's how I met everyone. And thanks to Miguel, and the class that I had with him. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's wonderful in your way and your choices of keeping his legacy alive. I know when he was still alive, I mean, we just recently lost him. Do you know the exact date that he transitioned?
Yes, on the 30th of November.
On the 30th of November of 2020. And I know you were one of the coordinators of that created this wonderful life celebration for him at the where he was. I don't know what you would refer to. Cardinal Terrace, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what is that? Is that a home or?
Yeah, it's a rehabilitation center, but it's also a home. And the person although I was in consultation with him, the person who organized that was Ricardo Muñiz, who's another one of our community leaders, and that was a beautiful tribute. We had several tributes to him before that too. We had a beautiful one at Ostos that Charlie Rice also organized with me. We organized it together. That was a beautiful tribute also. So and there were others. The Capicú had a couple of tributes for him in the cafe, and we had there was another one besides that, but that was good that we were able to do that for him, while he was still alive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is, que me lo den en vida. And, what I'm really appreciating about this conversation is that you're also sharing with our viewers, and to those who may have known him, such as myself, I didn't know these details that you shared today. And I think it's important that we all, sustain our own history, because that's what he did. That's what he did. He made sure that we were kept abreast within our own, what I would consider urban culture.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he also, it was urban, entrenched very much in the urban, but of course he was a person or an artist that was eclectic and included so many different facets of cultures and languages. He himself knew about 4 languages or so, maybe 5 languages. So he was able to work with other people, went to Europe, went to other places in the world, Cuba, of course, Puerto Rico, and so he was a Renaissance person in that sense, and then here, of course, African Americans are a big part of the New York Poets Cafe. Allen Ginsberg and William Burroughs, and they all went there too. So it's very, not to mention the other Latin American people and the people from Puerto Rico, the writers from Puerto Rico. Everybody's been, eventually to the cafe, in that sense. The Japanese, you could go on and on. So,
well, it's world renowned, right?
Yeah.
So, and he's one of the founders, and in paying homage to his legacy, I understand you're going to be reciting something of his today.
Yes, there's one small piece that he used to read all the time, and actually he knew it by heart, and we might be having lunch or something, and then he starts saying this, which was
in the middle of lunch, in the
middle of the street, in the middle of lunch. I mean, that's how Miguel was, so spontaneous. Like, that's one of the things I loved about him. And it's from his book, Times Now. And it's just a small piece called Conversation Number 6 with Our Lord.
Is Times Now available on Amazon?
Yes, I believe it is. Yes. Mm-hmm. When I am at ease with my I am in front of your you are, the trust melts my fear. I begin to love you with no dread of losing myself in a we are, where we share keeping no secrets. Yeah, Miguel. So he was something else.
I have to take that in. I'm a little delayed because that was really simple and profound.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And once again, the book is Times Now.
Yes. And he had I don't even know how many books he published, but you could find him definitely on Amazon. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he also participated in a lot of anthologies and edited as yourself too. And so thank you for honoring him in his words, but you yourself are a poet and a writer. So where can people find your information and or your books or the anthologies that you're published in.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I have a website, nancy-mercado.com. And I also, my book is also available on Amazon. And on my website, you can see other publications that I'm in and interviews and all sorts of things there. And I have my email there if people need to get in contact with me for any reason. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I am on the web.
Yeah, on the web and abroad. Well, currently on pause, as we all are.
Yeah.
But I understand that there is going to be more celebrations of his legacy. Is there anything that we can share with our viewers if anybody was interested in honoring Miguel Algarin?
Yes, we're planning a 3-part event, actually. The first event will take, I'm not sure when we'll be on air, but the first event takes place on December 19th. And that will be a Zoom event. Will be performances. We have a committee that's working together. And then the next event will be what we call Miguel Algarin Video Anthology, which will be an anthology on the web where artists and performers can join in, can just put things there, and that'll be there, forever, hopefully. That'll be a chronicle that'll be there. And it's going to be a huge anthology, like a living anthology, in tribute to Miguel. And then, of course, the final event will be a live event, hopefully in front of the cafe. We hope to try to have a block party. That'll have to be when COVID is a little bit, it's like sort of not happening,
Right,
so people could join together, and that's going to be the big event. And I just like to give a shout out to the committee that I'm working with that are really wonderful. Lois Griffith, of course, that was stable of the cafe and was there for years and years, 30 years or more. Also a very good friend, very close to Miguel, his right hand basically, and also Bob Holman, who's the owner of the Bowery Poetry Club. He's also on the committee. And Jason Quiñones, who's wonderful. He works with the cafe now. He's one of the administrators. And then Elena Martinez, who's wonderful. She's with City Lore, and she also runs the Bronx Music Heritage Center. And so we have a really fantastic committee, and we're going to do something really spectacular. Look out for it. Yes.
And so thank you. And thank you for bringing it here to our viewers, Nancy, and thank you for reciting one of Miguel Algarin's magical pieces. And if people wanted to become involved with this 3-part functions that how would they do so?
Well, we're going to be sending out a press release, and then that'll be, people will be able to come together for the anthology. The Zoom event is more structured, but the anthology is something that we, people could come together. And then the last part also will be, we're going to hopefully include a lot of different artists,
right,
musicians, right. But the thing is, then that has to be organized, so we're going to work on that later. Yes.
All right.
But there will be a press release coming out.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Yeah. So then you guys just stand by and stay in touch. And of course, I just want to say that if you want more on Nancy Mercado, you can go to her website at nancy-mercado.com. And of course, anything on Miguel Algarin you can find on Amazon. Thank you again, Nancy, for being here with us. Thank you. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the Recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at bronxnet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide peace, prosperity, y amor, in loving memory of a New York Poets Cafe founder, Miguel Algarin. Rest in peace.